I welcome you to this video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to carry out your beam detailing in AutoCAD, okay? In my last video, I showed you how to carry out your, how to export your detailing from prota details to AutoCAD, okay? After you finish designing from prota structure, then you export through prota detailings to to AutoCAD, okay? So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you, or I'm going to be showing you how to carry out your beam detailing in AutoCAD, okay? If you remember, this is the design I showed you how to export in my last video. Okay, so we exported this and we exported each story twice. Okay, we exported one that we are going to be using for our layout, and we exported one we are going to be using for our slab detailing. Okay, for this we have our story 1, our story 0, which is our foundation. This is the layout, and also this is the slab detailing the way it is directly from prota structure. This is the story 1, which is the first floor, and this is the reinforcement details for that. We also have our roof beam. Okay, this is the layout, and this is the reinforcement details, because the structure has a tank. Okay, it's going to be having a slab at the roof beam that will be serving for the tank. Okay, I want you to know that if you are using another version of AutoCAD like AutoCAD 2024, you may possibly not need to export this twice, because AutoCAD 2024 has what is called quick select. You can always quick select some items or in a particular model or element, and delete that particular element only on that highlighted element. Okay, so but because of most of my students, they are using AutoCAD 2021 and below, so this is the major reason why I want to use this version of AutoCAD. So I will encourage you to try and download higher version of AutoCAD. It makes your work faster. Okay, so I'm going to be using this to show you what to do. Okay, in your beam detailing, when you are carrying out your beam detailing, this video is only going to be showing us how to do our beam detailing. In your beam detailing, you have some necessary things you need to carry out. There must be a layout that showing your beams, showing the size of your beams, okay, the grid in which the beams are or can be found, okay, the size of the beams. Okay, let me explain that again. In your beam detailing, okay, you have two things to show. You must show your on your layout, you must show your beam size. Okay, you must show it's also going to show you the grids whereby you can find the beams. Okay, the location of the beams, the size of the beams. Okay, then you must also show your beam detailings, or your beam details and the section. Okay, like for instance, this is foundation beam 1 and the depth is 225 by 900. Okay, the beam is running all the way from grid 10 to grid 8, as you can see here. So going to the beam details now, if you go to the beam details, you see that we have let's say this is foundation beam 1. Then going to this point, you look at the foundation beam 1. This is it right here. Can you see? Then it's running all the way from grid 10 to grid this particular beam is running up to grid 8, grid 8 or 8 prime, as you can see. This is it here. Then going to this point, you see the details. If you go to the details here, you see the grid. The beam is running all the way from grid 10 to grid 8, as you can see. Can you see that? And this is foundation beam 1. So you must show the details, okay, and the grid, the details, and also the section. Okay, can you see this is the section for this particular beam? This is it here, because we cut a section. If you look at this section, this is section F1. Can you see that? Then if you look at this here, you see that this is F1. Okay, the size of the beam, the depth is 900 and the breadth is 225. You can see it here. So the details of this beam is 2y16 bottom and 2y16 top. If you look at it right here, you see it right here. Okay, so your beam details is necessary. You can always cut your beam at all section and also at support, at every support, so that you will be able to see every beams and their details at different beams. Okay, it depends on your settings, and I believe I showed you how to do all these settings before we export this. Okay, right from here, going to the layout, that is going to show the layout or the location where we can find this beam. You have some necessary adjustment to do right here. So you can always copy this. You can always copy this and you can always use this directly. Okay, since you can still go back to prota structure in case if you lost anything to see that, but it is always good to do that right from the details you export from prota structure. Okay, it is important. So to do this now, on this layout is not going to be showing beam details only. It's also going to be showing us the thickness of the slab. Okay, it's going to be showing us the thickness of the slab. Okay, since these columns that we have here is 225 by 225, okay, it's only going to be having one type. In a situation, okay, we have another one here which is a circular column. So what I normally do is that if this one is a square column and carries the same size and the same reinforcement, I will name this one to be C1. Okay, then this other one that is a circular column here and is also 300 diameter, I will name this to be C2. Okay, so let's go straight to how to do this. Assuming you are using a higher version of AutoCAD, you can quickly select all these and select all these once and for all and delete them. Okay, but to make it faster, I will select this. I'm going to be deleting these separately. I will select this because if I decide to select similar of all these, it's going to also select every other thing I have in this model, okay, or in this workspace. You can always get a template. I after exporting this last time, I showed you the difference of your detailing coming directly from AutoCAD and the one we copied directly to this particular template that I'm using. You can always get your Stonebridge templates to make your work neat and faster. Okay, it's very important to save yourself stress. Okay, so you have to delete all this. You can see the major reason why you need to get higher version of AutoCAD so that it's going to make your work faster. Okay, so you have to delete this. And also you have to note that detailing can be done in different way by different engineer, but you must make sure that your detailing or your detail or your structural drawing comes out in a professional way, and it should be a global, it should be acceptable globally. Okay, it's very important. You have to note that. Okay, let's delete this. So I will also be deleting some column, uh, size. I'll be deleting them to make us have a clearer view. Okay, so I'm going to be doing that. So I will be using this version of AutoCAD to take you through how to do this, and also maybe in future we can also use higher version of AutoCAD to be using our quick select to select one or two things and delete them once and for all. This always take time. Actually, it's always take time. Okay, so let's do this. So I'm going to be deleting this. Okay, and you see how I'm going to introduce that. Okay, I will delete this also. I will delete this. I will delete this. Okay, let's also delete this. Okay, we have another column here. So let's Control Z. I deleted something now. I just want to confirm. Okay, I deleted the beam details, which I don't want to for now. So I will only be deleting the columns. Okay, let me leave this particular one for now, or I can also delete that. I already know that the diameter is 300. Okay, so I will delete this, delete this. I will also delete this. Okay, I'm going to delete this. I will delete this. Okay, let's quickly do all this. Okay, you delete this also, delete this, you delete this. Okay, I think that is all. That is all for now. Then the next thing you are supposed to do is to show the thickness of the slab. Yes, definitely your layout should show the thickness of the slab. We all know that we have different panels here, but how can we know, or how can the engineers on site know the thickness of the slab? I have a text already. It's just a text showing you your details. So I will just quickly copy it from here. As you can see, I have it right here. This is my layout. I will copy it from here. 200 concrete slab thickness. I will copy this. CO or CP on your keyboard. You hit on copy, enter. Then I will pick this from here. Since I already know that my slab thickness is also 200 so I will just paste this right here. I will just paste this on this. I will paste it here. Okay. I will paste it on each panel. Paste this here. Paste this here. Okay. I will paste this right here. Okay. I will paste this right here. I will paste this right here without excluding the staircase area. Don't forget we are working with our ground floor slab for now. Okay. If you are working with your first floor slab, all you just need to do is to make that point a void. Okay, is to make it a void. So for this particular panel now, looking at it, you see that my text is extending beyond the panel. So what I can do is that I can select this, control select this, or no need of pressing your control, sorry. You type on rotate on your keyboard, you click on it, then you rotate this way, and rotate it this way, then you select it and move it. Okay, move, you hit on enter, sorry, move, then you hit on enter, sorry, let's do that again. Move. You can also select your move from here, select your move and move it properly. Okay, that is that. You can also do the same thing. Another thing you can also do is to reduce the text but showing the major information. If I copy this, copy to this point, so I can just reduce this 200 slab or 200 thickness. I will just reduce the text so that it's going to contain that space. 200 slab thickness. Okay, let's reduce this. Okay, let's say thickness, sorry, thickness, or 200 thick slab. Okay, then you hit on enter. Then as you can see, that place is going to contain, or the text is going to contain what we have there properly. You can also move this. You move it to this point. Okay, you move it, move. So your layout that will be showing your beams must also show the slab thickness. It is very, very important. Okay, you cannot be having a separate layout showing your slab thickness. So you have to show this. Let's copy this. I can see that we still have a particular place to also input that, okay, which is this point. Okay, so another thing you also need to note is that for this foundation type or foundation beam 225 by 900, if you feel like using this the way it is, you can decide to use it. Okay, you can decide to use it. All you just need to do at that point is to try and increase. You select similar and you increase the size to make it visible a bit. You go to properties after selecting similar. Okay, then you go to properties and you go to height. Okay, at times you may see text height and at times you may see height. Okay, then you can increase the size to something like 150 or 140. Let's use 150, let's see, and you hit on enter. Then you see that the size is going to increase a bit, so that by the time you print this, it's going to come out very well. But looking at it, you see that it projects or it extends inside inside some of other beams, okay, inside some other beams, so it makes it look somehow. So you can still decide to also increase that, reduce the size, select similar, and you go to properties, then you reduce the size or increase it. I've pressed control. Okay, let me see. So let's change it to 140. You hit on enter, then you close it. But even after doing it, you still see that it's still extending inside some columns, and which doesn't make it visible. It doesn't make some visible. So what you can do in this part is that there are some settings on prota structure whereby you can make this uh, be inside the panel or outside the panel. Okay, it's not going to be inside the beam. It can be outside this panel or uh, inside this panel. So it's not going to be sitting directly, and by the time you increase that size, it's going to see uh, make a lot of sense. Okay, the span of the beam or the span of each beam make this look somehow rampant. Okay, so what you can do also, if you still want to use this, is to reduce the information on this. You can reduce this information. Okay, you can just leave it at b21. Okay, you leave it at b21 this way, which means anybody who need the details and size of this will need to go to the beam details, will go and look for this beam b21 on your beam details. Okay, so let's look for beam b21 here: 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, this is 2019, as you can see. So you have to look for b21. B20, can you see this is b21? Then from here they will get the size. This is 822, and this is the section 900 by 225, as you can see. Then the reinforcement details is at the top. Okay, so but another way you can do this is that you can also place your test. Let me take this. Let me take this inside. Let me take this inside. Another way you can do this is, if you have your template, sorry. So if you have your template, this is Stonebridge template. If you have your template, you can just copy this. As you can see, your Stonebridge templates can guide you through some detailing, how you can come about your detailing and how it's going to look faster. You can see that what we have here is grand beam. Okay, you can copy this, then you hit on copy, you select this, and you take this to this point. Okay, you take this to this point. Okay, once you take this to this point, you look at where or the beams that is running all the way from this side. So going to foundation beam 1, beam 2, let's go and look at the details of the beam that is having. So you go to this place, foundation beam 1, the beams run together all the way from 1 to 5. Okay, can you see? Beam 1, 2, 3, okay, 4 and 5, which means from beam 1 to 5, 1, 2, 3, okay, 4 and 5, which means from here to here are together. So I can decide to give this, I will copy this from here and place it here. Okay, and I'm going to name this grand beam 1. Okay, this means that this grand beam 1, I will also copy it, or let's do this. Let's go and select the beam right from here. Select the beam right from here. You copy it. Copy. You copy it from here. You take it out. Okay. Then, since you want this place to this point, this one to this point will be grand beam 1. Okay. Grand beam 1, and you also need to consider the section. Okay. Let's see. We need to consider the section. Let me Ctrl Z so that I can be able to see the section that belongs to this beam. Okay, these are the section. Okay, so you need to also consider the section. Are they having the same top bar and bottom bar? As you can see, 2y16, 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 2y16. Okay, we now have this one to be 2y20 and 2y16. Okay, so this is F55, meaning that this beam here is having another reinforcement, okay, at the top. So you need to just consider these two. You delete. There's no reason for you to be having the same details section all through. Then you can move this closer. You move this closer to this point. Okay, then you copy this beam, or you move it. Let's move it. Move this. Okay, you move it from here. Move to this point. Okay, so how I normally do it is that to save a lot of stress, I have a box, okay? I have a box, okay? I have this box that actually work for my sheet, okay? We all know that we work with or we print with A3 paper when it comes to structural drawing. You copy this box. So if you have your layout, you can see all this your template rather, you can see this inside. So I'll place this here. This actually shows me the number of beam that can contain that particular sheet. So I'll place this right here. Okay, then I'm going to also since I've done that, this will be my ground beam 1 as I've said. Then I can choose to delete I can choose to delete this. I can choose to delete all this. I'll delete all this, and this my ground beam 1. I can, if I like, but no need of showing that. I'll select this, or we can choose to write the size of the beam. Okay, we can choose to include the size of the beam, that is ground beam 1 to be 225 by 900, 225 by 900, okay, millimeter. Okay, you show that, but no need of doing that since you have your details right there. Okay, let's erase this back. Okay, so you can select this particular one, and notice if you are arranging your beam, you must make sure that it comes all the way from the left hand side, okay, to the right hand side. Okay, from the left hand side to the right hand side, and from the top to the bottom. Okay, that is very important. Okay, like for instance now, if this is ground beam 1, as you are going, you are coming from the left hand side again, this beam comes before this beam. Okay, this particular beam comes before this one, so I can delete all these. I can delete all this, delete this. Okay, delete this, delete this. Okay, can you see? And all this is going to be ground beam 1. Okay, let's move it a bit. Let's move it to the center. Okay, so doing this now, we still need to move it at the center, but let's leave this. It means you have to copy this, copy. You have to copy this and paste it at this point. Okay, but right now we also need to increase the size of this. You can right click, you say properties, then you go to, let's increase it to 200 and see. Then me looking at it, it's not bad. You can give it 250. You hit on enter. Okay, then from this point you can now delete all these. You can delete this, you can delete this, and you can also choose to, but it is better you just make it one beam running together. Okay, you take this from here to this point. Okay, can you see that? Then this will be ground beam 1. Okay, then you go to the next one. This is ground beam 1. You go to the next one. This is going to be my ground beam 2. Then you copy this again. Copy. Let's copy this. Sorry, let me check these properties. Okay, you can copy this, copy to this point. I want this one to be my ground beam 2. Then I'm going to rename this to be ground beam 2. You left click on it. Then this is foundation beam 6, as you can see. Then you have to go and look for foundation beam 6. This is the major reason why you need to get higher version of AutoCAD. Okay, as you can see, some beams are not showing, some beams label are not showing. This is an error from prota structure. As you can see, this is error from AutoCAD, from prota structure rather. So I have this to be foundation beam 7, beam 8. Definitely this is beam 6. Okay, so how can you confirm that grid 1 is running from grid 1 to 1 prime prime? Okay, let's go and check that. Is running from grid 1 to 1 prime prime, as you can see. Okay, that is fine. Then you just take it right from here. Take it from here. Okay, you move it, move. You can move it from here to this point. So this box or this rectangle guides you to know the beams that will fit into your sheet. Okay, it guides you to know the beams that will fit into your sheet. So you can just move it a bit closer to this point. okay, and I'm going to name this to be ground beam 2, don't forget. So I don't need to go and copy this ground beam from here. Since I've increased the size of this one, I'll just copy this from here, copy, take it from here and take it to this point. Okay, then I'm going to rename this to be 2. Okay, we are done with that. Then another one now is the 3. So let's look at the way this beam runs from here, from foundation beam 7 to 11. So we look at the next beam here, beam 7 to 11. Okay, this is it right here, beam 7 to 11. Can you see that? But then you look at the details. You look at this section, 3y20 and 2y16. Let's see, 2y20. Okay, 2y20, 2y16. Okay, all you just need to do is to look for the similar ones and make sure that you don't have two similar sections there. Okay, and if you like, you can choose to use all this, but it's not necessary. Okay, 2y16, 2y16, as you can see, 3y20, 2y16. Okay, these are different, meaning that we can use all these. Do we have anyone? Okay, look at this one, 2y16, 2y16. Okay, this one is also 2y16. Okay, this one has a bottom top. Okay, so meaning that we are going to use all these in our details, 3y20 and 2y16. Okay, these are similar, as you can see. Then you can choose to delete this one, since this one and this one is similar. Okay, then you move this one closer to each other, move it closer. Okay, you can type move on your keyboard, move. Okay, you move it closer to this, move this also closer to this, move. Okay, move it closer. Okay, move this also closer, move this closer. Okay, can you see that? Then you take this right from here, you move it. Okay, you move this and you place it also inside this box. Okay, inside the box. You can place it here, you can place it at this point. Okay, and you select this, select all this. Let me select all this and I will deselect this box. Sorry, let me select all this now. Select this box, then you move it. You can move this, move, move. Okay, mind you, if you decide to take this one first, you can decide to take this first, move this. But if you decide to take it, it means your ground beam 2 will come after your ground beam 3, okay? Because this is going to be our ground beam 3, which is not really a good practice, but those details will be there, but they just have to go and be looking for it on your sheet, okay? So move. Since this beam is a shorter beam and they are also on the same sheet, so we can decide to use this like this. So mind you, this will be our ground beam 3. Copy this from here and place it right here. Okay, and now you can delete all these and delete these. Okay, you can delete these and you can also delete this. Okay, and this will be ground beam 3, don't forget, and not 2. So you have to pay attention during your detailing. So give this ground beam 3, left click on it. Okay, so you go back to this layout and also give this ground beam 3. You copy it from here, copy this one, CO or CP on your keyboard, you hit on enter. You copy it from here and place it at this point. Okay, mind you, let's shift it, move. Okay, you can take it up closer to the beam. Okay, then all you need to do here is, let's delete this one. Don't forget, we are done with this. Okay, then you delete this one too. Let's edit this first. This will be 3. Okay, then you can delete this and delete this to make your work neat. Delete this to make it neat. Okay. Okay, can you see that? Can you see that? So you are done with that. Then which beam come first again? This particular beam come first, and it's going to serve as our ground beam 4, as you can see. So you take this from here, copy from here, okay, to this point. Sorry, let's place that again. Okay, let's delete this one and take this to be your ground beam 4. Ground beam 4. Okay, now this is foundation beam 12. Okay, foundation beam 12. You look for foundation beam 12 right here. If this last one is 11, definitely this is 12. As you can see, it's also a short beam running from here to this point. Okay, and this is C12. So we copy it from here to this point. Okay, you move it. Sorry, let's move it and not copy. So you can now place this one beside this one. Okay, so now this will be your beam 4. Copy this to this point, and this will be beam 4. Okay, ground beam 4. You left click on it. Can you see that? Then you can just move this section up a bit. Move. Okay. Also, you should also note all this beam that doesn't comes with a sidebar. Okay, it is very important you correct that. You can just simply copy this and place it at each beam. Okay, let me show you how to do this. You can copy this right from here. Copy this. Okay, then you copy it, or let me say copy with base point, and pick it from here and place it at this point. Paste. Then you select this edge of this one, and it's also going to be at that position. You can do the same thing for this one. Paste. You take it from here to this point. Okay, if they are having the same wear bar, so you can just do that. You paste this also. Okay, can you see that? That is how to go about that. Then ground beam 4. Let's go back to our layout. This is ground beam 4. Then we can now choose to delete this particular one. Okay, so now we are going to ground beam 5, and we are working with our horizontal beam right now. Okay, we are working with our horizontal beams. So ground beam 5 will be this one. So let's see how the beams run. It runs all the way from let's see 13. As you can see, this is foundation beam 13 to let's see, this is 17 and this is 18. So this is 18. Okay, so we are looking at the beam 13 to 18, right? So let's go to 13. This is 13 and it stops at 18. Okay, 18. So you also do the same thing for this one by looking at the section. These are the section here. You look at the similar reinforcement, similar detailing, or similar section, 2y16, 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 2y. You can see that all these are the same thing. Okay, so you can just delete one. Okay, these are 2y16 all through, as you can see, 2y16 all through. So there is no need for you to be having different section there. Okay, it's not going to make your work neat. So you can delete this, delete, and you use just this one section. Okay, so you select this one. Okay, select this one right from here. Okay, then you move it, move it from here and move it to this point. Okay, but me looking at it, by the time you decide to place this one here, there is no it's not certain that your sheet is going to allow you or is going to be visible, because don't forget I told you that this box is the size of A3 paper. Okay, so let me move this here and I will copy this. Then if this one is my sheet 1, definitely the next box is going to be my sheet 2. So I'll copy this from here and paste it to this point. Okay, then I'm going to move this now, move this from here, okay, to this point. Okay, can you see then? Don't forget this is going to be our ground beam 5. Okay, so you can copy this from here, copy, and you paste it here. Okay, you edit this to be 5. 5. Okay, then you can delete all these as usual. You delete all these. Okay, can delete these. You see how the drawing or how the layout is coming out neat. See how it's going to come out neat. Can you see? So we have that there also. We have that there. So editing it also from here, we give you Grambin 5. So copy. Let's copy this. Copy. Sorry. So let's copy this. CP. Enter. Copy this from here and bring it to this point. Okay. Select this and delete it. Okay. Delete all this. Okay. Especially they are having the same section details. Okay, the beam is having the same detailing, so you move this to this point, and don't forget this is going to be ground beam 5. Okay, so you change this one to 5. You left click on it. Okay, that is that. Then coming to this side, we are going to start this right from here. Okay, so let's check this. This is ground beam 20, as you can see, 1920. Okay, 1920. Okay, 19 and 20. Then let's look at the way the beam run. Let's go. 19 and 20. 19 and 20. Reason why you need to get higher version of AutoCAD is you may not even start looking for all this. All you just need to do is to look for it. You find it. Okay, 19 to 20. This is it here. 19 to 20. Are they having the same details? As you can see, 2y20, 2y20, 2y16, 2y16. So you can select this and delete it. Then you use just this single section for both span. Okay, you can move this closer. Okay, and this is now going to be let's quickly do that. If this is 5, then this is going to be 6. You copy this, copy, you select this one to this point, then you can rotate this, rotate this from here, okay, to this point. Then you take this right from here and you move it closer. Okay, you change this to 6. You left click on it. Okay, you move this closer. Okay, can you see that? Then you can choose to delete this now. You can delete it, and make sure while deleting you don't delete your axis. Okay, make sure you don't delete your grid line. Either you call it grid line or you call it axis. Okay, coming to this point now, we should have ground beam 7. Copy this right from here and bring it to this point. Okay, right here, let me just move it away from the top of the beam. Okay, so I'll make it stable here. So here we have this to be 21 and this to be 22. So you go and look for 21 and 22. This is 6. Don't forget that this is 6. Let's see again. 19 and 20, 6. So we've not copied that. So 19 and 20, you need to go and move that. Can you see this is it here? 19 and 20, this is it. So select this, you move it. You move this right to this point. And now this can contain this. Yes, as you can see, this is going to contain this. So, but just that if you decide to say you want to put this here and neglect this space at times, it means you are going to be having more sheets. So with this, you can decide to use this here. Can decide to, those are the conditions at times. So instead of me splitting this beam, so there's no need for me to be doing that. So I will name this to be, I will delete this and also delete this. I will copy this, and I will bring this here, and this will be 6. Okay, this will be 6, as you can see. This is 6. So here we go straight to 7. This is 7. This is 7. You left click on it. Okay, so the 7 is 21 and 22. So let's look for 21 and 22. 21 and 22. As you can see, this is it. So you also consider the section. As you can see, they both have they both have different section. So Also, be mindful of this, okay? You have to make sure that you correct this. This is just the error directly from the software, okay? That is why you are an engineer, so you need to take note of that. So you can copy this, copy with base point. You copy this from here and you paste it back here, as far as you know that they are having the same sidebar. So you paste this here, okay? So right now you can move this closer, you move it closer, move this closer to this point, move. Another thing we need to note is that since this one is having okay, uh we can leave this, but you have to just show the section. You have to show the section that is having different reinforcement, okay? It is very important you show that. You have to show the section that is having different reinforcement, so that they will know that if this beam is coming all the way from this side, when it gets to this point, the section is different, okay? Or you detail this beam separately, okay? But since this is serving on a single straight beam, but with different span, okay? I don't know if you understand that. You can just leave it at ground beam. I think this is ground beam 7, okay? Let me quickly check ground beam 7. So you copy this right from here, okay? You move it, move, okay? And you move it to this point. This is 7. We have our 6 to be here, and I told you the condition that makes your 6 to be at that point. So this is 7. It's always good to arrange your beam in a way that is not going to stress whoever is interpreting it anyways, okay? But let's go to 9. Going to 9, 9, 8 rather, ground beam 8. So you delete this one now. You can also delete this one. So you can see the difference of this and the other one, okay? So this will be the 8. So you go to this point, copy, you give this ground beam 8, okay? You just have to look for a way to make sure that this and this are not on top of each other. You can decide to rotate this, enter, then you rotate it from here to this point, okay? Then you give this ground beam 8, ground beam 8, you left click on it. Then here, ground beam 8 is 23 and 24, as you can see. So you go and look for 23 and 24, 23 and 24, 23 and 24. This is it. You look at the section 2y20, and this is also having bottom bar, okay, 2y16. Can you see? So here we are going to be using this two section because this is having top. If it's having top and top bottom, sorry, this is supposed to be top bottom. This is supposed to be top bottom. As you can see, this is 2y16. So this is supposed to be top bottom and not top again, okay? This is supposed to be top bottom, okay? Top bottom. So you have to always interact with your design and check it properly. You just don't print design, you just don't run your design and move it to the printer or you quickly backport. No, you have to interact with your design and check necessary. Okay, move this closer. Okay, then you can select this right from here, 23 and 24. Fine. You move this from here, move. Select your move tool. Okay, and you move it to this point. And this will be ground beam 8. Okay, ground beam 8. Okay, copy. Okay, then you change this one to 8. 8. Okay, then you left click on it, as you can see. So we are done with that. So the next one is going to be, this is 8. If this is 8, you can now delete this. okay, and delete this, then delete this also, okay. So you can see, you can always see different model or different detailing rather. All you just need to target is make sure your drawing is or your detailing is neat, and make sure you also detail the way it is acceptable globally, okay. Going straight to Grambim 9, we have this. You can move this to this point. You can move this to this point. Let's move this, or you can also shift this. Okay, let's have it here. Let's move it. Move this a bit. Okay, then you have Grambim 9 to be at this point. Copy this from here and place it at this point. Okay, then you can change this one to 9. Change this one to 9. You left click on it, as you can see. Okay, this is foundation beam 26, that is 25 and 26. You can see that already, since we have relabeled our member properly in prota structure, even the beams are aligned with each other. So you have to note all this. Before you export your design, you must make sure you export your design in a way that is going to be well arranged. Okay, this is 9. Okay, this is 9. Move it closer a bit. Move this closer. Okay, 25 and 26. So you go straight to your beam detail, 25 and 26. 25 and 26. This is it right here. Can you see? So you also check the details. They are having the same details. So you can select this one and delete it. Okay. So let's use this particular section for both span. So you move this one closer. Okay. So you select this one here and you move it to the box. Move it. And don't forget, this will be Grambin 9. Okay. So you select this right here. You select this right here. So there is something we're supposed to do here. We are supposed to be showing the depth of the beam, though it's showing here, but it's also good to always show it. So you move it, or copy rather. So you copy it to this point and give it gram beam 9. Okay, gram beam 9. Okay, can you see? So it's always good to have your beam depth. Okay, it's always good to have your beam depth. You can choose to copy this, or you place it beside. Okay, then you give it let's see, you give it 225 by 900. So you here you just change this one to 225 by 900. Okay, 225 by 900 mm. Okay, 225 mm by 900 mm. Okay, so you can place it at the bottom, you can place it beside it. You can also give it a bracket. Let's give this bracket. Okay, although the depth is already showing by this section, okay, but it's good to have a full details. So if you want to copy this now, you just copy all this. Let's copy all this back to all the ones we are sorry, I want to copy the size only. Copy this only. Copy. I can place this right here. Okay, I can place it here. I can place it here. Okay, I can place this one can also be at the bottom. Okay, so let's select this one now and delete it. Select this one now and say copy this from here and also bring it to this point. Okay, bring it to this point, bring this to this point, bring this to this point. Let's see, bring this to this point. Okay, this will give them an insight, or the details, the full details of the size of the beams, also with the information or the details, or the any way you call it. Okay, so we are done with gram beam 9. As you can see, gram beam 9. Let's see gram beam 9. Let's see gram beam 7, gram beam 8. and this will be ground beam 9. Okay, this is our ground beam 9. So you copy this back, copy, place this right here. Okay, give this 9, 9. Okay, so you can delete this one now. You can also delete this. Okay, so you go to this one. This particular one comes before this one. They are not on a straight line. So I'm going to give this ground beam 9, and this will be ground beam 10. Okay, so I'm going to place this here. Let me move this a bit. I'll move this from here, move. Okay, and I'm going to move this right from here, copy from this point, and I'll move it to this point. Okay, so instead of this ground that I have here, I can just change this to beam 9. Okay, this is because the span of that beam is not long there and I don't have enough space. Okay, so I'll just use beam 9. So instead of putting ground also, you can just always use beam. Okay, beam 1, beam 2, instead of using ground beam, ground beam. So it depends on you. Okay, it depends on you. Just make sure your detail is neat. Okay, I hope you get what I'm saying. Instead of ground beam, I won't be adding beam. I'll just be saying beam, beam. Okay. I hope that is clear. So ground beam 9, this will be ground beam 10. Okay. Ground beam 10. Okay. And if you look at this beam, is beam foundation beam 27. Okay. So we need to go and look for foundation beam 27 right from here. 27. This is 27, as you can see it from the section. Okay. This is 28. Okay. 27. So right here, we just need to move this closer to the beam. Move. Okay. Move it closer and move it inside the box. Move. I'll move this from here. Move it. Okay. Move it to this point. Okay. And change this one to 10. Copy this now. Copy from here to this point. So since you can leave this to be ground beam since you have a space to contain it, and you can also change it to beam 9. So it now depends on whatever you want to use, beam 10 rather. So let's edit it to beam 10. Okay, you left click on it. Okay, that is fine. So right here we have the next beam to be 11. Let's see, this is our beam 10. So let's delete this and make our work neat. Okay, and let's go straight to the 11th one. Copy. So let me use, since I have space, let me use ground beam. Copy it from here to this point. Okay, this will be ground beam 11. 11. Okay, so I'll delete this particular one. I'll delete this particular one. Okay, so right here, don't forget, this one is a foundation beam 28. So you go straight to your beam details also. This is it here. So you also move this one closer a bit. Move it to this point, just closer to it. Then you select this one and move it. Move it to the box. Okay, place this here. Then I'm going to select this, hit on copy, take this from here to this point and give this 11. Okay, right now we move to 12. Okay, so coming to this side, you can see how we are arranging all this. So coming to this side, since this beam, let's see, okay, this beam is running from here. So let's say this is 29 and 30. Okay, 29 and 30. I'll take this right from here, copy, and the whole of this beam is going to be beam 12. Beam 12. Okay, so it's running 29 to 30. Let's go and look at it. 29 to 30. 29 to 30, as you can see. Are they having the same session details? 2020, okay, 2016, okay, which means we are going to be using this. Also note this sidebar, so you can copy with base point. So you copy it from here, and you also give this the base point. You paste it here and give it a sidebar. Okay, so if you just decide to use the details the way it is from prota structure without checking your design very well, it means you are not going to be giving that a details. Okay, so you have to always interact with your design. Move this from here closer, move this also closer, move, enter. So move it from here to this point. Okay, so you select this one, move it, sorry, let's go to this beam, let's close this. Okay, so you move this now, move it, enter. Okay, you move it from here and you move it to this point. So but right here, if you decide to use this here, it's not going to show well on your paper. So it's not going to show well on your sheet, meaning that you have to still create another sheet. Okay, you can select this, let's say copy. Mind you, I'm going to just place this at the, okay, let me place it by this side, but I can move this. Okay, let me just move this drawing. Let me move this, move. Let me just move it so that you can be able to place this here. Copy this from here and place it here. Then I'm going to move this, move back to the sheet box. Okay, so move it to this point. Okay, then this will be ground beam 12. I'll delete this. So I'm going to select this, copy, and this will be ground beam 12. Ground beam 12. Okay, have we also changed that right from here? Ground beam 12. So you can delete this. You can also delete this. Okay, you can delete that right from there. So right from here, you can also, we have done this, we are left with just this particular beam. Okay, we are left with this beam, and if you check the details, you see that we have just only one beam left there, and this is foundation beam 31. Okay, foundation beam 31, and as you can see, this is 31 here. Select it and delete it. Okay, so copy this, or you can copy this beam only, this one that doesn't have ground. Copy, bring it to this point. Okay, and give this 31. Okay, so right here you go to the beam, also copy this, move this from here and move it to this box. So you can just try to look for a way your drawing will contain the sheet. You can try it. If it's going to contain these two sheets, you can try it. You can just simply adjust all this up a bit and make sure it contains just these two sheets. And if not possible, it means you have to extend it to 3 sheets. Okay, so select this one and delete it. Copy this, copy this from here to this point, and this will be ground beam 13. You can also take your time to adjust all these to the number of the beam, to the beam number. You have to give this 13. Okay, you have to give this 13, and you have to adjust all these too. You have to adjust all this. Okay, you have to adjust all the section. You have to adjust all these 22, 21, instead 7, as you can see. Okay, but we don't need to do that. This is just to show you how you can properly arrange your beam. Okay, this is 13, and also this is 13. It should be 13. It should be 13, sorry, 13. Okay, so right now we are done with the beam. So another thing you need to do that is very important is your column type. As you can see, we've deleted all the column type. So I'll go to one of my details and edit that and copy that from there. You can copy this right from here. Okay, let's go to this point. You copy this from here, copy. So you can see that even when I was detailing this, I actually used this foundation beam that came with the prota structure, because I have to make the work faster as it's urgent. So let's just take this. Okay, so since they are the same type of column, all this my square column will be column type 1. Okay, column type 1. You can place this beside it, just make sure it's close to it. Column type 1, column type 1. And inside your columns elevations, you are going to be showing the sections as column type 1. Okay, column type 1. Okay, column type 1, column type 1, column type 1. Okay, they are square column and they are having 4y16 all through. Okay, they are having 4y16 all through. So imagine me now showing a lot of detailing at the same size of column. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily, you don't need to make your drawing looks like someone who is not a professional. So you just have to try all your possible best to make sure that your drawing is neat as much as possible. Okay, so right here, this circular column is now going to be column type 2. Copy. Okay, you copy this here. Okay, you also copy this here. You can place it here if you have a space there. Then you change this one to C2. Edit this and change it to C2. Okay, change this one also to C2 because it's a circular column and not because it's a circular column only. You can have C2 to be of different types, depends. Okay, C2. So right here we are done with this. So I love, you can decide to leave this ash this way, but I love using solid black. Let me change this. If I change this to black now, you may not see this. I'll go to my AutoCAD. I'll go to this option. Okay, then I'll go to this my display here. Under my display, I'll go to this color. Okay, I'm going to change this to white for now. Let me change it to white, and I'll click on apply, and I'll click on apply and close. So that you can be able to see this clearly. So I'm going to select this ash, right click, and say select similar. And I will change this from this by layer, I will change it to black. Okay, then I'm going to exit this so that by the time you print your drawing, it's going to show properly. You are going to be seeing those columns very, very well. Okay, I'll move this, move. Okay, for this place, you can also hash this column. You go to hash, as you can see, this is hash. You go to hash. So on solid black, you can hash this. Okay, you hash this column. You hash the column. So you hash this, just click on it, or you just select inside. Okay, so you can do the same thing for this one. You hash this, you hash this, you hash this, you also hash this. Okay, as you can see, this is it. Then another important thing you need to note is that I noticed that in detailing, your dimension is not always come out, doesn't always come out well. So with this, I always try to increase my dimension, my beam dimension. I will just select this, right click and say select similar. Then I will right click on it and go to properties. Then I'm going to increase the size. Okay, I will increase the text height, the dimension height. So I will go to you will see the text height from here. You can see text height. I'll click on it and I'll change it to 160. I will hit on enter. Since I've selected similar, it's going to do the same thing for all. Okay, okay, because if you did not increase the height, once you print, it's going to look smaller a bit. Okay, so you have to take note of all that. So that is that on your beam detailing. So all you just need to give it now is to give it dimension. Okay, you have to dimension it. You go to annotate and you go to dimension. Okay, then you dimension your drawing, because the dimension is very important. It's very important. Okay, so you dimension it properly. So let me switch this back. I'll switch this back. I'll go to AutoCAD, go to option and change the color of the screen back to black. Apply and close, apply and close. Okay, then I will go to dimension now and I will dimension this from grid to grid. Okay, sorry, move this, move it down. Okay, move this to this point. Then you can continue your dimension from grid to grid. It is important, dimension from your grid to grid. You dimension all this. You dimension this. Okay, you dimension this. You dimension this. Okay, you also dimension this and dimension this. Okay, then you adjust this dimension and make sure it's sitting properly. You can take it from here, take it to this point. Okay, take this also, take it to this point. You can choose to select this and bring this down. Now depends on you. And if you are sure that it's well separated, you can leave it the way it is. Select this, bring it down a bit. Okay, so right now you can take this also, move it up. Okay, so you can also give it overall dimension from this first grid, okay, to the last grid. Okay, you give it overall dimension. Okay, so this is it. You can move this to this point. Can you see? So you dimension this and you also dimension, this is the horizontal, you also dimension the vertical. Okay, let's just do that. Dimension from this grid to this grid. Okay, you continue this to this point, to this point, this, dimension this. Okay, you can see that all the dimensions are close. Okay, if the dimensions are close in such a way, you can look for the one that has a beam right here and dimension it. The grids that are not necessary, you can just neglect them, or you look for a way to just dimension them properly. Okay, you can see how very close all these are. Okay, you can see that this one now doesn't have anything it's doing for now. So you can probably redimension that on first floor. Okay, move this downward. You can move it close. You can take this, it doesn't have any beam it's serving. Okay, this have a beam it's serving, so this dimension is important. Depends on where your dimension is coming from. Okay, select this also, take it to this point. You just have to make sure that your dimension is neat. Okay, okay, so you just have to dimension your plant very well. Okay, it's very important to have a dimension. This helps in setting out or when they are placing columns or beams. Okay, they are going to be relying on your dimension. Okay, okay, so this is all about beam detailing. This is where I'm going to stop for now. Thank you very much. See you in my next video.